What if one night, the knocking on your door had no one behind it? What if something was living inside your closet, watching you every day? And what if the mirror in your room remembered you, even after you smashed it? These aren't urban legends. These are real stories, terrifying accounts where even the police couldn't help. Stay with me. What you're about to hear might keep you up tonight. It all began in a quiet little town in Pennsylvania. Ellie, a 24-year-old woman, had recently moved into a small wooden cabin deep in the forest, a peaceful place left to her by her grandfather. Surrounded by trees and silence, it felt like the perfect escape from the chaos of life. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. Calm. Healing even. But then one night in October, something changed. Ellie had dozed off on the couch while watching a documentary. Around 1:45 a.m., she woke up, feeling slightly uneasy. As she got up to close the curtain, she noticed a figure standing far away, just at the edge of the woods. It didn't move. Just stood there. But when she blinked, it was gone. She told herself it must have been a tree or a shadow. Maybe she was just tired. The next night, she woke up again. This time, to 3 slow knocks on the back door. She froze. There were no footsteps leading up to it, no sounds outside, just the knocks. When she looked out, there was nothing. The exact same thing happened the night after that. And again, the night after. Always at the same time. 2:17 a.m. By the third night, she called the police. 2 officers showed up, looked around with flashlights, and shrugged it off. Probably just a raccoon, one said. Or the wind. They didn't even write a report. Ellie wasn't convinced. Something felt wrong. So she decided to record it. She didn't have any outdoor cameras, so she placed her phone inside the house, pointed directly at the back door, and let it record overnight. The next morning, she reviewed the footage. Most of it was uneventful, until exactly 2:17 a.m. The doorknob turned. Slowly. But no one was there. The camera didn't glitch. You could clearly see the handle twisting, as if someone was trying to open the door, but the space in front of it was completely empty. She took the footage to the police. They watched it, but again brushed it off. Could be the door's old. Maybe faulty hardware. She was done asking for help. On the 5th night, Ellie didn't sleep. She sat in the living room, back against the wall, a kitchen knife in one hand, phone in the other. As the clock hit 2:17, the knocking returned. 3 knocks. Slow. Heavy. And then, the door slowly creaked open. But no one walked in. It just opened. Like someone was inviting themselves inside. Ellie didn't wait to find out. She grabbed her keys and bolted out the front door, didn't bother with shoes or even locking the cabin. She got into her car and drove without stopping until she was 2 towns away. She never went back. The cabin still stands abandoned. Locals say if you walk past it at night, especially around 2:17 a.m., you can still hear knocking. But here's the part Ellie didn't tell anyone, not even the police. Just before leaving, she watched the footage one last time. She paused the frame where the doorknob turned. And in that one frame, for a split second, there was a shape. Behind the glass of the door. It wasn't a person. Not really. Just a tall, thin figure. No face. No eyes. Just standing there. Like it was watching. Waiting. And here's what really chilled her. The door didn't just open. It unlocked. From the inside. Jared was a college student living in Seattle. He rented a small 1-bedroom apartment downtown, ground floor, big glass windows, decent area, affordable rent. One night, he came home from class and found everything exactly the way he left it. Except for one thing. The closet door was open. Jared was a bit obsessive. He always double-checked things, doors, locks, everything. But he thought maybe he forgot to close it. Then the next day, the same thing happened. And the day after that. Every time he closed the door, he'd come back and find it open. So he decided to get proof. He downloaded a motion sensor app on his old phone, set the camera facing the closet, and left for class. That night, he watched the footage. At 2:43 p.m., the closet door slowly opened. And from inside, a pale hand reached out. It gently moved the hanging shirts, then disappeared back into the darkness. Jared was in shock. He watched it again and again. There was no glitch. No one came in. Yet the door opened on its own. He called the police. They came and searched the entire apartment, top to bottom. They found nothing. No signs of forced entry. No evidence at all. They said, "You're probably imagining things." But Jared knew this was real. And that night, things got worse. While he was in his room, he heard soft breathing coming from inside the closet. Very faint. Like someone trying hard not to be heard. Jared grabbed a hammer and nailed the closet door shut with 5 big nails. The next morning, the nails were gone. And the door was wide open. Even stranger, the nails weren't on the floor. They had just vanished. After that, the police stopped responding to his calls. Jared moved out within a week. A year later, a woman named Claire moved into the same apartment. She rented it not knowing its history. Then one day, she disappeared. The apartment was found perfectly clean. Everything in its place. Except for the closet door. It was shut tight. Locked from the inside. The police broke it open. No one was inside. But on the wall, there was a drawing, a hand reaching out from the closet door. To this day, no one knows what happened to Claire. The apartment remains empty. And they say, that closet still opens by itself. Carmen was a single mom living in Colorado Springs. Life hadn't been easy, but she was trying her best to give her daughter, Lily, who was 9 at the time, a happy, stable home. One Sunday, while walking through a flea market, Carmen found this beautiful antique vanity mirror. Hand-carved, a bit dusty, but in surprisingly good shape. It looked like something from a different century, detailed, elegant, heavy. The seller didn't say much, just that it came from an estate sale. Carmen bought it and set it up in Lily's room. She thought it added character. It felt like a lucky find. For the first few days, everything was normal. Then Lily started talking to the mirror. At first, Carmen didn't think much of it. Kids have imaginary friends, right? She even thought it was cute. Until one morning, Lily said something that stopped her in her tracks. "Mom," she said while brushing her hair, "the man in the mirror told me you're going to die soon." Carmen laughed nervously. "What man?" Lily just shrugged. "The tall man. He's really nice. He said you won't feel a thing." That night, Carmen quietly took the mirror out of Lily's room and moved it into the garage. She didn't want to scare her daughter, but something about the whole thing didn't sit right. Later that night, around 3 a.m., Carmen woke up. She heard whispering coming from Lily's room. She got up, heart pounding. Walked down the hallway. Lily was fast asleep. But the mirror was back in her room. Exactly where it had been. Carmen screamed. She called the police. They came, searched the whole house. The windows were locked. Doors untouched. No signs of a break-in. They told her maybe she moved the mirror back and forgot. She knew she hadn't. After that, Carmen began seeing something strange herself. Not often, just flashes. A figure in the corner of her eye whenever she passed the reflective surface. Especially near the mirror. A tall man. Thin. Pale. Wearing a dark coat. He never moved. Just stood there, watching. One day, she'd had enough. She took the mirror outside and smashed it with a hammer. Broke it into dozens of pieces. She swept them up and threw them in the trash far away from the house. But it didn't stop. Every night since then, Lily has drawn the same picture, a tall man with empty eyes and a long coat. She draws him standing in corners, behind doors, sometimes right next to her bed. It's always the same face. Carmen eventually posted about it online, desperate for help. Most replies were jokes or ghost story fans. Except one. A private message. No name. Just a sentence. "You shouldn't have looked at him that long." That was it. Carmen packed everything she could and moved across the country within a week. New house. New school. New life. But the drawings didn't stop. Lily still draws him. Every single night.